Hey everybody, and welcome back. I think I'm going to call this series A Day Late in Review. Because every time, no matter how much I try, I never seem to get the figures before anybody else. My geological location happens to be over in the Pacific Northwest. Even though California tends to get these before anybody else. Apparently they did pop up in California. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Eddie Guerrero. And now I'm not going to say how much I paid for him. I have no Walmarts, unfortunately, in my area anymore. They've all been closed down because of theft and rioting. So I bit the bullet hard and bought one of these off the bay. And I just realized because I work all the time, I didn't have time to go hunt for it to begin with. And the nearest Walmart probably is in Washington. And I don't want to go and deal with traffic over there. So I just decided to buy it, thinking that, hey, this is probably going to be hard to find. Right now, they're popping up everywhere, it seems like. So you win some, you lose some in that sense. I thought these would become a nightmare to find. But I love the attire. I did have his Legends 5 at one time. Then when they did the Legends, I think it was 17, Eddie Guerrero? Or wait, Legends 17. No, it was Legends 7. Wasn't it? It was 7. I think it was 7 or 8. It was one of the one of the ones that came out a while back. I could be wrong, could be 8. But I thought that was a great one. And then, but because it's Ultimate, the way I do my wrestling collection is once you get an Ultimate, unless it's atrocious, attire or just impractical, like a suit or something like that, you upgrade to the Ultimate brand. So you got like Elite, Elite Plus, and you got Ultimate. Now, people are hating on this one. They're hating on the torso. Yeah, the torso's ripped, a little too defined. But Eddie was a big dude near the end of his life. He was a cruiserweight when he first started. He was a skinnier guy. I'm sure when they do the best of Monday Night Wars Ultimate Eddie Guerrero Series 2, I think is when they announced that there's going to be one coming. No renders, obviously, no prototype images, but they said he is on the docket to happen. So he's going to happen eventually. And he'll probably won't be this jacked. He'll probably be really skinny and tiny. And he'll be a WCW Eddie Guerrero. I wanted his peak WWE run. Now, mine, really good figure. Deco is great. I was looking a little bit. There's a little bit of more overlap on the thigh cut here, a little bulky. But mine really just only has one problem. And you can see the leg moves pretty good on this one. This one just kind of flops. Like it has a little bit to it, but it's very loose feeling. He does have the pull down hips. I don't like those. I'm always afraid with my AJs or my Seth Rollins I'm going to be posing them or something like that, or occasionally once in a while I might have a match or something like that, or just old memory time's sake kind of stuff. Like try to do the Three Amigos or something, and I'm afraid like the leg's going to fall off. So I went and bought a second one just to be on the safe side. Always buy 2 of these, just in case anything does happen to one. Because you don't know how expensive these things will go. Some of them go for astronomical amounts of money. I know that when the first Ultimates came out, they weren't too hard to find, but then that Ultimate Warrior shot up expensively. Then they re-released them recently, and I'm glad they did, because the one I got is way better condition, cool attire. But I digress. I'm here to talk about Eddie. So, the boots, better color. They're not orange, unlike his Legends 5, which has already been said before. But one thing I do like about it is, despite the torso choice, it really does capture Eddie's swollenness, if you will. As far as he had broad shoulders, he kind of had a little bit of a waist, like a tiny waist, and broad shoulders. And I think what people are failing to realize is that this is not the size of a Kane. He does not stand as tall as Kane. Like, here's Eddie, okay? There's Kane. I'm hiking him up right there. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Eddie was not a big dude. Kane is 7 foot tall. That pairs up pretty well right there. I mean, yeah, he had it, maybe they went with a little less defined middle section of the torso. I know some people have done some fix-ups and whatnot. But of course, if you're not that, if you don't believe in snapping or breaking joints or popping chest pieces off, or you're not that articulated or that artistic as some people are, then this is the best option you're going to get right now. And I got no problem with it. I think it's cool. I mean, I added an elbow pad. I originally was going to put 2 elbow pads, and I realized, it looks too bulky. He did wrestle some elbow pads sometimes. He didn't wrestle elbow pads sometimes. I just did to kind of just make it, stand out a little bit more. I know he didn't wear it when he wrestled Brock, but he did wear it when he wrestled Ray, which I did get Ray as well, and I will review Ray. But like, if you look at the height comparison, Eddie was bigger than Ray. So, and this Ray, beautifully done. Legs are great. They actually have great articulation for like West Coast pop, or just dropping a leg, dropping the dime, the frog splash, all that good stuff. The only thing I think I wish is that maybe he had, obviously it's from the time frame of WrestleMania 22. I'm going to review him later. But going back to Eddie, he has his tattoo over here. He doesn't have his, highlights in the blonde, because that wasn't the look back in 2004 at No Way Out when he won against Brock Lesnar. But I don't think, he deserves that much hate. I really don't. Yeah, they need more torso choices, and we had an option with that with the Nitro stage. There was a lot of new parts being included in those 5 figures that didn't happen. I'm not gonna say any more on that, but really, if you get a chance to get this Eddie Guerrero, I mean, it scales really good. Kane is so much taller than him. It scales great. He does the Three Amigos beautifully. The frog splash has never looked better. I mean, like, he gets that, up there articulation to plop down. Again, I don't have a better camera to show, like a landing or something like that. I mean, he's got the kicks. He's got the smoothness to it. The only thing about mine is that this leg here I'm always worried it's going to snap off. But, he's got the Three Amigos. You get, you can get the Amigo pose there. You get the Brain Buster if you wanted to. Obviously, he's not doing it to Kane. But let's get Rey Mysterio up here. So, like, for instance, like if he's going to hold Rey up, he's got the Ray, he's got the hold right there, and then he's got, I didn't break him, he's fine. But he's got the, he picks him up right there, and then you basically got 2 options. You got the Brain Buster, or you got the Three Amigos, where he rolls over, picks him up again, blam, picks him up again, blam. The posing is there. I mean, he's got the little like Latino Heat shuffle kind of thing. Obviously, you can't make him like do his little shuffle stuff that people did back in the day. But just great. When he misses and whatnot, he poses great. He's gonna be great for fake photography. Of course, there will be customizers who will demolish him or cut him up and Frankenstein him to make him look more, to their liking, and that's perfectly fine. I don't have that ability, so but from far off, you can't really see how ripped off he is, and from far off, you see Kane. I mean, RUTHLESS, right? Back in the day. So yeah. If you get a chance to pick this one up, I would suggest picking this one up again. This is a day late review. People have already said all they want about this thing. I've already, said what I want about this thing. I liked it, and it's going to stay in the ultimate, brand shelf, drawer, whatever it may be. Because I don't buy one of every. I buy one of every wrestler. Usually upgrade or trade in, like as far as like updating to somebody. So if they make another Ultimate that's like maybe his WrestleMania 20 attire, or even his late No Mercy 2005, final kind of match, pay-per-view match look. Heck, even his match against Mr. Kennedy right before his passing. Then yeah, I probably would get that one and send this one off to the Bay. Because I only keep, usually one person. If I bought everybody, I just don't have the room, nor the money, nor the money or the room, really. That's what it is. Like, if you look around here, I literally collect, this is just my home away from home, my job, where I stay to take care of adults who are unable to take care of themselves. Tier 1 level, nothing major, but that's just one of my gigs, and I go home and I teach people how to drive safely for the rest of the time. But you can see, like, I collect the Dragon Ball Z figures, I got the Spider-Man, I got the Batman, so I can't afford to buy one of everybody, so I usually buy, everybody of one person. Like, you won't see 5 Hogans, you won't see 10 Hogans laying around everywhere. I can afford to buy one of everybody. With the Ultimates, I would recommend picking up 2. Obviously, if you're a loose collector, just have one just in case anything happens. Like I said, these drop-down hips, I'm not the biggest fan of these. I know that like Kane doesn't have drop-down hips, and he's got the butterfly joints, and This is what they needed. They didn't need the drop down hips. I know, you can't kick as high, but I mean, does it really matter? Like, I mean, Kane's big, right? So Kane doesn't need to go kicking high up in the air. He's going to kick you in the face from here. I don't see Eddie doing a big boot to Kane, so I don't see this added need to drop down to kick even higher, and then no, it's going to look dumb. So, but that's just, it was unnecessary. I understand they did it to kind of justify, the new price, or try to stand out away from the Supreme line, because Supreme, you can just go pop the torso, pop the head, pop a different torso, pop the head, boom, you got the Eddie you want looking like. So I hope they don't go that route, only because the Supreme, as great as they are, posing wise, playability wise, it's weird, because I'll be doing like trying to do Kenny Omega's one-winged angel only for the torso to come off of the other character, and it's like, well, that looks wrong. So I like the Elite. I think the drop-down hips could go, but that's just my choice. What's your thoughts? What's your opinion? So I know I'm late to the party as usual, but check back, and I'll be doing Rey Mysterio on the Day Late review. Day Late to the Dance review. How about that? We call it that. Have a good night.